The legislative branch is one of the three branches of the U.S. government, and its main purpose is to make laws. The legislative branch is also called the United States Congress at the national level. There are two divisions of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and both of these are elected directly by the people who live in their states. A bill is a proposed law brought to Congress for discussion and voting. There are two ways for a bill to become a law. In the first and easier way, bills need to be passed by a majority of both the Senate and the House of Representatives, and then get the President's approval. If he or she signs it, it becomes law. The second, more difficult way takes place if the President rejects the bill. This is called a presidential veto. In that case, the bill gets returned to the Congress, which will need a 2/3 majority in both the House and the Senate. This is called an override, and if this happens, the bill becomes a law, even without the President's approval. The Senate is sometimes called the upper house in Congress. 2 senators from every state are elected to represent their state. This organization lets every state in the country, no matter how big or small, have an equal say in the Senate. Senators must be at least 30 years old and a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years at the time of election to the Senate. A senator's term lasts for 6 years, although senators can keep running for re-election. Besides making the laws, the Senate also gets to vote on the appointment of Supreme Court members that are nominated by the President, as well as the people that the President nominates for his or her cabinet and as ambassadors. In turn, however, the Supreme Court keeps check on the legislative branch by declaring their laws unconstitutional if they do not follow the guidelines of the Constitution. The House of Representatives is sometimes called the lower house. There are 435 representatives in total, and then the total for each state is adjusted every 10 years. The number of representatives for each state depends on the population of each state. The most populous state of California has 53 representatives, while the least populous states of Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, Alaska, and Delaware all only have 1 representative each. One issue with the House, however, is that it is still not quite proportional. California has 66 times as many people as Wyoming, but only 53 times as many representatives. Each representative serves a 2-year term before he or she has to run for re-election. Representatives have to live in the state they represent, be at least 25 years old, and have been a citizen of the United States for the past 7 years. While all bills have to be passed through the House, any bills that raise revenues, meaning taxes, must originate in the House of Representatives. When a Supreme Court justice, the President, Vice President, or a cabinet member breaks the law or acts inappropriately, the House of Representatives can vote to impeach him or her, which means to accuse them of a crime. Then they will send them to the Senate for a trial where the Senate decides to acquit them if they find them innocent, or convict them if they find them guilty. If found guilty, the accused is automatically removed from their position. So why do we have 2 different groups make the laws instead of 1? It would probably be easier to get bills passed into laws with only 1 of them, but the 2 organizations were a compromise for the original big states who wanted representatives chosen by their population size, like the House of Representatives, and the small states who wanted all states to have equal say, like the Senate. Finally, keep in mind that these organizations are similar to legislative bodies at the state level and even the city or county level. There are state legislatures that make state laws and city or county legislatures that make up city or county laws. Broadly speaking, a legislative organization is anything that creates laws and rules.